Recently, I just completed learning from this book, which is The Power of Input, the #1 Japanese bestseller in Amazon. So if you want to learn the tips and tricks that I learned in this book on how to maximize your learning, remember to stay to the end. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not joined our free ChatGPT course, remember to join at junlo.net/ChatGPT. So let's come back to this topic. So after reading it, The Power of Input by the Japanese author called Shion Kabasawa, I really love the idea. So there are few things that it's being mentioned in the book, which is a great pointers. So first, what is input? So input, it can be like you're watching a TV show, you're watching a movie. It can be you're learning something new, like a reading, or listening. Listening is also a type of input. The input can be via written, audio, or video. Anything that you can learn, that is input. Like even when every single day we are scrolling the Facebook and social media, it is an input already. However, not every input is beneficial to you. So if you want to make sure that you maximize your learning, so the first one is to make sure that you want to learn with intention. Input with intention. So what does it mean? So input with intention is just like, for example, if right now you're watching a movie, and usually end of the movie, like just assume that 1 day or 2 days later, if I ask you this question, what are the key takeaways that you take from the movie after watching it? You may not be able to elaborate right away. You may need to think for some time, and you actually kind of like forgot the storyline. That happens to me a lot of the time, and that is the reasons that causing is because on every single day basis we have been dealing with a lot of inputs, a lot of knowledge. We are scrolling like social media, we are like watching the news everywhere. So in order to make sure that you're able to maximize your learning, you have to learn with intention. So which means before you actually watch the movie, you set a goal. Like after watching this movie, I want to like write a movie review. That's where when you are watching the movie, you'll be very, very detailed, where you try to notice the things that it can be put in the report. So actually there has been a survey that is being done. Like for example, if there are two groups of people. Group A is the people where you tell them, hey, you just watch this movie and that's it. Nothing is going to happen. But Group B people, you tell them that, hey, you know what, after watching this movie, I want you to write a summary to tell me what do you think about this movie, what kind of review that you will give to this movie. Given this two group of people, where Group A, we will ask them to do nothing, and Group B, you ask them to actually write a movie review. Group B people, they can remember everything more vividly. They can even tell you what's their thoughts, because they are learning by intentions. Before they actually started watching the movie, you have told them that, hey, I want you to tell me your review about this movie. So that's why the #1 is learn with intention. So the key takeaway for me is that, remember, in the past I've been like recording so many videos about the books that I read, and I realized that I haven't been doing it for some time, and I didn't notice that that is one of the way for me to remember the content of the book much deeper, because I have a very deep understanding about that book, is because not only I have an input like learning and reading the book, but also I have the output, which means recording the video, explaining the content of this particular book to you guys as well. So which bring to the tips and trick #2. When there is an input, which means you have read a book, you have learned something new, there must be an output. So you learned and you teach. You learned and you teach, and that is a proportion regarding that. So there should be a 30% input and 70% of output. Let me repeat that. 30% of input and 70% of output. If you only have 100% of input, most likely you are not going to remember anything. So I really love this analogy that is given by this book. If you are reading about 3 books versus 10 books in a month, which one you think that you will learn more? Perhaps you tell me that you will learn more for the 10 books, right? Because you read more. Okay, but if given 2 scenario, you are reading 10 books versus you're reading 10 books and you also recorded video or write a book summary for 10 books. Which one would you learn better? Definitely the one that you also record a video or you actually write the book summary, right? So that's the reason why when we are so busy learning every single day, we also have to make sure that there is an output. You can actually pen down your thoughts, you journal down your thoughts, which also bring to the next tips and tricks mentioned in this book. So this book mentioned that compared to typing, like I always love to do it with my laptop, versus literally using your pen and pencil and journal it down, like write it down. Writing it down manually, even though it is manual, it's going to have more impact to your memory, to your brain, as compared to just typing it, right? So I actually tested it, and it has been a while since I last written things, like journal down things, but because of this book, The Power of Input, I actually do an experiment. I bought the book. This book is really cool as well. I will introduce about this book next time. Actually journal down and pen down my thoughts, right? And I really miss journaling, and I really love the process of it, and it actually gives me a more vivid and impactful kind of thoughts. So I definitely recommend this. That's the tips number 3. And number 4. Number 4 is all about balancing between input and output. There must be a balance, and you must be really flexible about it. And one thing for sure that is being mentioned in the book, and I can't agree more, is the amount of the knowledge and the news that we are inputting in the daily basis life. So, you know what? I often face this problem. Whenever I've been scrolling too much of social media platform, I feel the kind of like tiredness in my brain. I don't know. I'm not doing anything. It's not like I'm busy scrolling social media. I'm just looking for things for fun. But if I scroll for about more than 30 minutes, I kind of feel the emptiness, and I felt like overwhelmedness, even though I don't actually learn new things. And after I read this book, then only I understand. Actually, when you have input to your brain, it doesn't have to be like whether it's like reading a book or even if it's social media. When there are too much of information to your brain, be it like entertainment, your brain will feel really tired in processing the information. That's when you feel like you're mentally tired. So that's where the book actually suggested that you don't have to watch too much of news, right? If it is something urgent, you would know it, right? It is something super urgent and super important, you would know it. But rather than actually giving yourself too much of time watching news or like scrolling too much social media platform, why not actually learn by intention? And I really love this idea, and it is something that I did in the past, but I have not been doing that. So that's the reason why I want to record this video and share with you guys, so that you guys can actually experiment it the same. And unfortunately, I tried to search for this book in English version because the author is from Japan. It's Japan's #1 bestseller on Amazon, but I couldn't find it. But here's the key takeaway. The first one that I mentioned is learn with intention. Like maybe when you are reading this book, you tell yourself, hey, you know what, after reading this book, I'm just going to write a book summary, or just like follow June, do a video about it. And second thing, we're talking about 30% input versus 70% output. It has to be balanced, and also you don't have to like watch so much of news constantly because there is too much information from you, and stop scrolling social media so much, because with the amount of the information overload, even though this entertainment is going to make your brain super tired. So I hope that you guys loving this episode, and these are the key takeaway that I had with this book. And I definitely recommend to my friends who actually read in Japanese or you're reading in Mandarin. You can actually get this book. It is pretty popular. You can get it in the Mandarin translated version. So I hope that you guys enjoy this. And if you have not joined my Facebook group, remember to join my Facebook group at www.amazingstar.co. Whenever I have any updates about my the book sharing, I will actually roll out in that group as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel, www.amazinglive.co. If you really like this episode, remember to like it and comment it in my description box down below, so that you're motivating me to actually do more similar videos. And I look forward to see you guys in the next video. Then take care. Bye bye.